In this week's BlizzPro Weekly, BlizzCon hype strengthens with the opening of the BlizzCon store. Blizzard really likes Halloween holidays. BlizzPro is helping run a Hearthstone tournament for charity and how you can win a headset. And the Beard rants about Gamergate. Hey guys, welcome to the newest episode of BlizzPro Weekly. I, as always, am your host, the so bearded gamer Chris Arnone. Now, first, before we talk about any specific games, let's talk more BlizzCon awesomeness. Blizzard has opened up their BlizzCon online store this week, and it will be open through November 11th. BlizzCon attendees and virtual ticket holders can lay their hands on some sweet loot from the Blizzard Gear store. Now, some of the notable BlizzCon exclusive swag are various t-shirts and hoodies for Heroes of the Storm and Warlords of Draenor. There's also some 10-year WoW anniversary swag, like a commemorative pin, a messenger bag, stuff like that. Probably the coolest thing available, though, is a Hearthstone lanyard with a little Hearthstone logo that lights up at the end of it. I can just imagine people walking around the convention floor with those. They're going to just pop. However, there's a lot of things, missing this year that we were expecting, which once again leads us to believe Blizzard has a big announcement on its way. Nowhere to be found are the, BlizzCon key art items, which usually involve posters and t-shirts. Now, in the past, these usually been available early, but it's possible this year they could, provide some spoilers for the big announcement, so they're holding them back. We'll have to see. And we talked last week about what Blizzard's announcement could be at BlizzCon, and that we're fully expecting a new game announcement. Now, if you're attending BlizzCon this year like us, we've heard rumors from some pretty reliable sources that you'll want to find a good seat for the opening ceremony this year, and then stick around for a couple hours afterward. Now, we don't have any details personally about what that means or what could be announced. Everything on our part is pure speculation, but it's informed speculation. JR's been around the block a few times, as have many of the BlizzPro staff. We make some good estimated guesses. And based on what we've been talking about these last couple months, those naysayers who have been telling us that Blizzard just wants to have lunch, wants to watch esports, the blank schedule on the main stage because Blizzard had originally scheduled that for Titan panels, or blah, 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 blah. You know what? We think that's all bullshit. We're going to get a new game announcement. We're going to be talking about that new game at BlizzCon. But, we'll just have to wait till November 7th together to figure out who was right. All right, let's talk some World of Warcraft.
Here's the beef.
So with the release of patch 6.0.2 this week, and Warlords of Draenor coming up next month, Blizzard has rolled Mists of Pandaria into the baseline digital purchase of World of Warcraft, also known as the Battle Chest. This means that you can get into the game with everything straight all the way through Mists of Pandaria for $19.99. Yes, $20. Furthermore, if you go ahead and pre-order Warlords of Draenor right now, you'll get that free level 90 right out of the gate. Now, with Warlords event going on right now, if you haven't jumped into WoW before, this might be your best opportunity to do so and get right in on the action from the very top. Now, Hallow's End begins this week in WoW, and this yearly holiday has several changes this time, as always, as far as items go. The Headless Horseman will drop level 540 gear, but probably the coolest item you can get is the Arthas Lich King costume that you can wear. Now, if you have the Purgy Pug pet, yes, of course, JR put that in there, you can get costumes to dress him up like the Mad Alchemist, Little Starlet, or Yip Saren, because, evidently you can dress up a pug in WoW now, which, I'm sure that's pretty much the only thing JR is doing for the last several days. Okay, let's talk Heroes of the Storm. Are you feeling a bit blue, a little down that you haven't been invited into the Heroes of the Storm Alpha yet, and some of your friends are? Well, it's the time to start bugging them. All current alpha testers that hit account level 20 before November 18th will be entered into a drawing, and the winners of that drawing will see every battle tag and real ID friend receive a Heroes Alpha invite, right? So if you have friends playing, bug the shit out of them, and you might get brought in as well. Now, 3 new skins have been added to the Heroes of the Storm in celebration of Hallow's End. Countess Kerrigan, Skeletor Abathur, and Infested Tychus have now been added to the game and will be there for the foreseeable future. Now, if you're a skin collector, That sounds really creepy. A skin collector in Heroes of the Storm, the Kerrigan and Abathur skins will set you back $9.99. The Infested Tychus skin is $14.99. Okay, how about a little virtual cardness? Hearthstone.
Pull up a chair by the hearth.
So Kansas City has been a pretty happening place lately in the sports world now that our Royals, be Royal KC, take the crown. Yeah, anyway. Are advancing to the World Series. We're all just crazy excited about that. I know JR is just a huge baseball fan, and he's been going to every game. He's just crazy excited. However, it is time to bring some esports to Kansas City while also raising money for charity. On October 25th, BlizzPro is teaming up with Archetype Gaming to host a Hearthstone tournament for the public to come and join. If you're in the Kansas City area, a simple $15 donation to Extra Life will buy you entry into the tournament, and we have some amazing prizes to play for, such as $100 in Battle.net cards, SteelSeries gaming mice and headsets, all kinds of things. This event is planned to start at 1 p.m. Central Time, and we will be streaming on the BlizzPro Twitch channel. Hearthstone Power Hour host Twiz and Stutter will be there shoutcasting the matches, and I will be there to MC the event, and maybe they'll let me play a little bit. You know, it could happen. Now, if you're not in Kansas City, we have prizes you can win as well. We have a SteelSeries Warlords of Draenor Siberia Elite headset. This thing is based on the Siberia Elite, which we reviewed at BlizzCon. It was the most comfortable thing I've ever worn when it comes to headsets. It's fantastic. It retails for $220. It can be yours. Now, for every $5 you donate to extralife.blizzpro.com, you will be entered into a drawing for this headset. So if you donate $5, you get one entry. Donate $50, 10 entries, and so on and so forth. Winners will be chosen on October 26th, the day after the event. If you cannot afford to donate, you can still help. Please help spread the word. The more people who know, the more people watch, and we raise more money to help the Children's Miracle Network. Now, we hope to see you there in person with us, or virtually as well. It's going to be a great time. Check out the show notes for the full details on the where and the when, and be there. Okay, now we got a very special segment for you. I know you've missed it. It's time for a BlizzPro bitch session. So today we're going to talk about Gamergate. Now, I know I mentioned it in a show before. We were briefly talking about it, and it was still in its infancy, and it had kind of pivoted, and it was when things were starting to get a little confused about it. Now, I'm not going to go into the full background on what Gamergate is and is not, but here's a real brief sort of run-through, okay? This started off as an attack against Zoe Quinn and women in games in general, and somehow some strange attempt to maintain this sort of gamer culture. But it was death and rape threats and chasing her from her home, and expanded into attacking feminism in gaming as a whole, which is just ridiculous. And it was just frightening. But then here's the thing, and this is where it got really confusing. Somehow the whole movement pivoted to questioning journalistic ethics in video game journalism, which is really strange. It doesn't make a lot of sense. But the problem is, the backbone of misogyny is still there, culminating recently with a threat against Arnita Sarkeesian. Now, she was going to give a talk at Utah State University, and she and the university got terror threats via email threatening a mass school shooting. And she ended up having to cancel her event. This is real-world stuff. This is terrorism. This is hate groups. And the pivot is just confusing people. But really, that pivot is just a bunch of misdirection. It's like, you know, here's your misogyny. Here's your hating on women for some inexplicable reason. But, oh, no, we're talking about gaming ethics, ethics in journalism, and, it's still there. It's still there. They're trying to talk about ethics like they're somehow a good movement. But the whole time, they're still hate. They're hating on people. And they're somehow, they think the gamer culture is somehow wrapped up in being a dude and being competitive. You know what? I proudly self-identify as a gamer. But my gamer culture has nothing to do with putting other people down or threatening other people. It seems to be a big problem when it comes to, the people trying to fight against feminism. They somehow think that the world, whether it be gaming or careers or whatever, is a pie. And if somebody else takes a piece, there's less for you. That's not how this works, all right? Gamers, gaming, our culture can only become richer and better by having more people come into it. It's not good to be this little niche thing with this really bad, sitting in your basement jerking off while you're playing a video game. That's not something we want. That's not how we want people to view us. And we have been expanding. More people, men, women, trans, all kinds of people have been joining this, and that's a good thing. It is not something to be afraid of. It's not something to be hateful about. It is never okay to threaten people. There is no excuse, ever, for treating a person like they are less than another person. Ever. Period. So it's with this, BlizzPro stands behind Stop Gamergate. So please, use that hashtag, but better yet, just treat people kindly. Yes, maybe we need to talk about ethics in gaming journalism. It's never a bad thing to question the ethics in journalism. Lord knows American journalists pretty much have no ethics by and large. So that's always good, but not on the back of hatred. Not as a way to disguise these threats and horrible things that are happening. So please stand with us, with BlizzPro.com, as we say, Stop Gamergate.